The Blackjack Workshop experience is an opportunity for you to learn what the game of casino-style blackjack is about before you actually sit in a live game and put your money in a live game. Remember, the mathematical probabilities in blackjack are guided by a principle called basic strategy. Basic strategy is the compilation of the result of thousands of played hands of blackjack. The results of those hands create a table, looks something like this, and it features the dealer's up card against the player's hand and the mathematically correct way to play your hand against the card the dealer is showing. If you follow correct basic strategy when playing blackjack, you reduce the house edge to about 1% for the first hand. And from that point, it changes with every decision you have to make. The object of the game of casino blackjack is two-tiered. Either to get better cards than the dealer gets on the original deal, or to improve your hand to end up with a better hand than the dealer when it's your turn to hit or stay. Remember, the main difference between you and the dealer is that the dealer has to have 17 points before they can stop. That means if they have a weak hand, they have to keep taking cards until they have at least 17, which includes the probability that they may bust their hand or go over 21. When the dealer busts their hand, they're going to still pay anybody who has money on the table and cards in the game. So it's not always to your advantage to keep hitting. You have to make those decisions based on the cumulative total that you're coming up with against what the dealer's up card is and the mathematical probabilities that govern both. Those are the things you need to know to play this game and to play it well. Right now we're going to cover splitting. When you're playing the game, you have several options when it comes to splitting. And the first one we're going to talk about is splitting aces. Now, in this deal, we came out with a 10 for the dealer. That's a really strong card for the dealer. And you want to think about once or twice whether you're actually going to put additional money into those hands in live play. Because in order to split two cards and take the cards that you're entitled to take and then end up with two winning hands against the dealer's 10, it's a stretch sometimes. So you want to be sure to factor that into it. Since this is a demonstration, we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. So what would happen is that this person here would slide an additional 2 units into the bet. The dealer is going to separate the cards, put one wager with each pair of cards, and then we're going to give that player one card only. That's the difference between splitting aces or splitting other possible combinations on the table. With split aces, you only get one card. Any other pair, you can take as many cards as you like. So what's going to happen here is there's one card down, that hand's finished. The next hand is a pair of jacks. Now, granted it's a pair, but it's also 20 points. It's the second best hand in the game. Some people like to split that because they feel really powerful when it works, but it's a really stupid thing to do. So you get dealt a pair of 10 value cards and make 20 points, stay on it and hope for the best. Next to that we have an 11, which is a double down combination. Against a 10 again, you would think twice about whether to do that or not. I personally would pass on it with a 10, so I'm just going to go ahead and take one card. Gives me 14, and that's not really strong against a 10, so we're going to take another one, which comes down to my other rule, or one of the other ones that we call the 90% rules. The fourth card will bust your hand 90% of the time. That's something else you want to factor into your playing strategy. And each time you have to make an additional decision, you need to factor basic strategy as well as the 90% rules into your decision on whether to take another card. Now, we're just going to leave these cards here on the table. I'm going to take the money away. But we're going to leave the cards out there because I want to see what's going to happen when I turn over the dealer's hand to know whether that was the right decision or not. Next over here we have the pair of fives. You would never split a pair of fives. You always treat it as a 10 total and double down on that hand instead of splitting it. So this player is going to go ahead and slide 2 additional units in. The dealer is going to position the double down and give them one card, and we'll see what happens. Now we're going to turn over the dealer's hand. Dealer has 18. This person has 12. They lose. Had this person not taken the fourth card, they would still have lost, but this 10 would have gone to that hand. It's a game of wouldas, shouldas, and couldas. Alright, this one's going to win here. That one has 20, that's a winner. And that one is 21, and that's a winner. Now that brings up another point on the splitting. When you split aces, and you get the 10 as one of those cards to make 21, what would otherwise be considered a blackjack had it been dealt on the original hand, that's 21 points, but it's not blackjack. Blackjack, paying the additional bonus in the game, only applies on the first 2 cards dealt to the player or to the dealer. That's kind of what you need to know about splitting. Again, be sure to visit our website at http://www.fantasycasino.us and look at the information we have up there on playing blackjack and splitting, and consider our blackjack workshop. It's an experience that you can create between you and your friends to give you some practice time. We give all of the guidelines and the rules and all the information that everybody needs to have a really good play practice session before you actually go into a casino and put any live money on the table. Thanks again, and good luck.